Are you doing the same thing you've done for the past 10 years? Are you stuck in a dead-end job? Are you considering a career change? If you're thinking of pivoting your career, then this video might be for you, because in this video, we're going to talk about why it's not too late to switch your career. Roger, nope. Are you going to be in the video? This is Kat. Scoot, scoot. Let's try it again. Not too long ago, I was a software engineer and I was very close to burning out. And luckily, I saw a job opening for a product manager at our company, and I sent this to our founder. Now, I wish I had a little bit more confidence when I did this, because while I did get the job, I didn't get over the imposter syndrome till much later. And I wish I read this book first, Range, because it really talks about why generalists triumph in a world of specialists. And large parts of the book are really talking about why it's okay to change courses, why you don't have to stay stuck where you are, and why you don't have to let that one decision you made when you were barely an adult dictate the rest of your life. So let's get into it. Who was your favorite artist 10 years ago? Would you pay a few $100 to see them today? How about this? Who's your favorite artist now? Would you pay a few $100s to see them 10 years from now? If you're like most people, you might say that you're not gonna pay for the artist from 10 years ago, but you're gonna pay for the artist now. This is called the end of history illusion. The idea is that we recognize that we've changed from who we are a good 10 years ago, but we forget that we're gonna change 10 years from now. We think that who we are today is who we're gonna be forever. And that's just not the case. But why am I talking about this? Because we ask kids at 16, 17, 18 when they graduate high school to pick their college degrees. And those college degrees are supposed to tell them what their first job is gonna be, and their second job, and so on. If our music preferences change in 10 years and our fashion changes in 10 years, how come we don't recognize that our goals and ambitions might change in 10 years? But I know what you're thinking. I have already invested my college degree and years of experience into this career. Why should I switch now? You might recognize that you're falling for the sunk cost fallacy. This means that people tend to continue down the path that they're on just because they've already spent time, energy, and money on it. When I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to continue down the path of being a software engineer or if I should pivot into product management, this is something that I got stuck on for quite a while. I had gotten my degree in computer science and I had already spent 5 years as a software engineer. I didn't know if I wanted to make that career change and waste all of that time. But here's another thought. Is all of that investment worth it if you're unhappy in your daily life? Best-selling author Seth Godin actually argues that winning is knowing when to quit. He says, "Quit fast, quit often, and quit without guilt." It's a lesson that I later learned when I became a product manager. Before you start a project, you want to know when you're going to quit. Because the reality is, not every idea, not every product, and not every project is going to be a successful one. You need to know when you're going to say, this idea sucks, let's take our lessons and move on. And you know what else I learned as a product manager? You need to experiment. How are you gonna know that the thing that you like is actually the thing that you like if you've only tried one thing? As a society, we are so hell-bent on having a head start that we pick sports and instruments for our children when they're 5, and then we have teenagers pick their careers when they're 16, and then we tell them to specialize and don't ever change. Roger Federer is a great case study on this. He did not specialize in tennis very early. He tried a bunch of different sports, and then he found that he didn't like them until he found tennis. It's the exact opposite of what we're telling our kids today. Range says, the most momentous personality changes occur between the age 18 and one's late 20s. So specializing early is a task of predicting match quality for a person who does not yet exist. So you're essentially guessing if your kid is going to be good at the violin, if your kid is going to be good at tennis. Experimenting a lot means that you don't have the head start that a lot of people claim are necessary. But there's a very big perk to experimenting, and that's that you find the one thing that actually matches what you like and what you're good at. Speaking of experiments, this is a new kind of video for me, so if you like this kind of stuff, leave a comment below, let me know so I can make more of them. So that brings us all to the point of the book Range. Range talks about the power of having multiple contexts. So your ability to take the knowledge and concepts you've learned in one domain and apply it in another is actually a pretty rare and valuable thing. So in my case, I was so worried about starting from scratch as a product manager and losing the 5 years of software engineering experience I had, when in fact what I should have been thinking about is that I am now approaching product management with some valuable technical experience. I have the ability to understand what the engineers are doing in a way that other product managers might not have. So the engineers don't have to worry about translating what they're talking about into basic English for me. I can also think about problems that they are thinking about in a much better and detailed way. You can easily place me in more technical products because of my experience. Pivoting careers doesn't mean that you have to start from scratch. It means that you can start a new career with the edge of being an expert in a different domain. That means that you can bring in your skills and perspectives to this new environment. It's not too late to pivot. In fact, I talk about that in this video where I talk about why I'm on YouTube in the first place. So you might want to check that out. Thanks for watching. Bye!